Welcome to Wayne's Weird World. What? You want to say hello? Okay, make it quick. I'm busy. Come on. Up. Here. Say hello. Good boy. Yeah, okay, off you go. Go look for a rat or something. Trail graze. Just finishing up. The promotion was over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the businesses will still be around. I had one of these yesterday when I did my my big orchid mount, and it was actually rather good, because sometimes these promotional things are quick. Oh well. Anyway, this is Penguin. I am here. Ta-da! And Penguin is number 24 there. All the numbers start from Launceston. I don't know why. Because a lot of people come in on the ferry to Devonport. Planes can land at Burnie, Devonport, Launceston, or Hobart. And yes, we do actually have whales. Quite a few of these places I've been to, but a little over half. Anyway, enough of that. Got to get down to knife handle 101. This has taken hours, but I haven't been waving my arm around in the garden, so what else do you do? Trouble is, the repetitive movement can be quite uncomfortable also. Okay, why the wood? Why would I wood it? Because, this is a good example. The rivets were inadequate. That one's completely pulled through. And the knife was cutting through the stitching. This is a knife that was given to me back early 1980s. And if you look inside, I'm not sure if you can actually see it. The light's probably not good enough. I made the wooden liner the same as this one. Okay? This is Helle from Norway. I brazed on an extension to the tang so I can do it in this classic fashion. The little button just screws in on it. This is Frost Mora of Sweden. I did the stitching. I'll talk about that in a minute. This one's Brusletto from Helle, Norway. I bought that as a factory second because the bevel wasn't quite right. Well, it just took a little bit of elbow grease. And this one has a plastic liner. This is where I got the idea for doing the wood. And the Norwegian, Scandinavian style, even Finland, Sweden, Norway, does not have a big guard, a hilt, like some stupid Bowie knife, which is a totally impractical thing. This is for getting up close and personal, and you'll pinch it up like that, and you can do some very, very fine work with it. It's an all-purpose knife. Very, very functional. Now, that's the sheath that I've been making. I had the blade and the tang and everything else wrapped up in Glad wrap. And the clips, I put them only on the edge because it will mark. That dirt, hopefully, will disappear because I'm going to dye it all black. The rivet, the shiny one, which is smaller, I'll show you in a minute, will go there in the corner, and there'll be another rivet down here. The belt loop will be riveted on the back inside of it like that. So all you're going to see is the little back of the washer and rivet. Okay, Let me show you how I get it trimmed up like that. Reaching over even hurts. Sometimes I even do it in my drill press, which makes it a lot easier to hang on to. So once I get the diameter the way I like it, then I bevel it, because you don't want sharp edges. And now, where's that little bit of, there it is. A little bit of wet and dry. It doesn't take long. Before you have something looking fairly decent. Okay. Get that out of the way. So the nice pretty one will go on the front, and then I'll do another pretty one there. Put it there so I don't lose it. To set them, I use this little bit of doweling that I made up. These black ones I've heat treated, annealed, so they're softer. The rivet itself is tapered, so the washer will fit on it, but it won't go down any further until you drive it home. So then, with a hammer, drive it all the way down, then you cut it off as close to the washer as possible. Then I use my angle grinder with a sanding disc to take off the excess. Then I've modified this nail, because the nail set, no, don't lose it, the nail set is a bit too small. It didn't quite cover the rivet. So I made up this head of a nail that'll fit right over quite nice and neat. And then it's just a matter of tappa tappa. Make sure it lines up. Now this one that I've messed up, I can play around with it for till the cows come home. There's a little scrap of leather here somewhere. I don't know. Nope. That I put over it so I can file and sand it. But that's the way it's going to be. I will put a little bead of contact adhesive, clamp it with a whole bunch of these things. But I've got to wait for the leather to dry. So that'll be all the way around. And you don't want these clips any further in than you have to, because the leather, when you're shaping it, you use warm water and you mold it with your hands. And then you get all these little clips, let it dry, and while that's drying, make sure you're ready for the lacing. Now, let's see if you can see that. The lacing needle, or the punch, is beveled. So when you're punching like that, gives you really nice bevel to that. And you always overlap one hole when you're punching. When you get to the corner, you've got to use a single one to get around the corner. This type of stitch is called a cordovan stitch. You can find that on the internet. And it makes it a really, really nice, functional, and attractive finish to the lacing. That little bit of silver is from a ring that I was making, the wedding ring for my younger sister in 1974. That's a few years. More than one day. Anyway, I had a few in my box of junk, and I thought, well, I'll put that there. You need something to work on. Good bit of steel. Oh, and how do I get everything smooth when I'm joining up the pieces? Lapping plate. So I always put the label on the back. Ooh, don't break it. And then all the bits for the knife handle. And you keep working until they are, you can see it just taking off a little bit of the high spot. And you just keep going until it's a very, very even flush finish. Because all of these pieces, let's get that out of the way again. All of these pieces have to fit. Now let's go through the sequence. See, that's snug enough, and the leather will hold it as well. Let's put this lapping plate out of the way before I break it, because it cost me a fair bit to get that cut. All right. Okay, the button. Button, who's got the button? This will be secured with Loctite retaining compound, so I can take it off with difficulty. Okay. Even the end plate, I don't know if you can see that, even the end plate, there are 2 brass pins in there, 2 brass pins in there. Pop that out. I brazed on a piece of brass threaded a bolt that I just cut off. I had to flatten it on the 2 sides so that the diameter or the thickness was uniform. Okay, sequence from front to back. Brass, Tasmanian dogwood, no, Tasmanian blackwood, piano ivory, Tasmanian myrtle, piano ivory, myrtle, Tasmanian fallow deer. They're feral, so we just shoot the damn things. Myrtle, piano ivory, myrtle, piano ivory, piano ebony, piano ivory, and the end plate, brass. So it fits together fairly snug. When I put it together with Aerolite, the Aerolite is just to make sure that's tight. It doesn't really, it's not going to fall out. And then the nut with the retaining compound. That's it. Balance. Not too bad. Good feel. Very comfortable. That's it. Knife handle 101. Knife sheath 101. I've got a few hours to go. I'll work on it tonight, but I can't do too much until that's dry. Oh well, that's it. Wayne's Weird World. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Woohoo. And hopefully my shoulder's a little bit better. Oh well. Whatever.